remarks.
Wait, get the camera rolling.
Oh yeah, we're rolling. We're rolling.
There's actually writing on that.
Yes, there is. Except that
You can't read.
one is a first version. We're not going to hear it.
First
Okay,
version.
here we go. All right, I promise no more than 7 minutes. Okay, Paul Edward Delphin was born 60 years ago on February 6, 1952. That was a very long time ago. Of course, it's child play to certain sections of the audience today. We don't want to go there. Now, the current Queen of England, whose reign seems to go on forever, and who has thoroughly castrated her son, Prince Charles, rose to the throne the year Paul came into the war. The Korean War was also raging in 1952, as is the Afghan War now. Some things just don't change. In 1952, the first hydrogen bomb was detonated on the Marshall Islands. Officially, Marshall is spelled M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L. But when I think of the word, I spell it M-A-R-T-I-A-L. That's a pun. Marshall. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Thankfully, we no longer detonate atomic bombs, either in the air or in the ground. But Iran might have something to say about it. The sustainability of this policy someday. Again, some things change and some things stay the same. When Paul was born, General Eisenhower ascended to the presidency of the United States in a landslide. New York State adopted 3 color traffic lights. Pan American Airlines bought its first jet. John Kennedy won his first Senate seat. And CinemaScope was introduced at the movies. And electric shock was used for the first time to treat heart attacks.
All right.
This was a while ago. One of the big music hits that year when Paul was born was I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. The song does not conjure up the image of a menorah. Of most importance, in 1952, the New York Yankees were World Series champions.
All right.
They were champions 3 years before Paul was born, and then for another year after. World champions 5 years in a row. Gee, why did Paul turn out to be a lifetime Yankee fan? What a mystery. When Paul was sucking on Hilda's breasts, Mickey Mantle was in his prime, and Rocky Marciano, that fabulous wop, came Jersey Joe Walcott, and was well on his way to a lifetime record of 49-0. A lifetime undefeated. Just how I like my Italians when a new Jew comes in. In 1952, a gallon of gas was 16 cents. The Dow Jones stood at 270. That year, Christopher Reeve, Dan Aykroyd, and Robin Williams came into the world along with Paul. Now, I believe that Paul can be at least as witty and funny as Williams and Aykroyd. It is no accident, also, that Mad Magazine came into the world at the same time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Paul, of course, would then spend his life in the field of madness. Also, isn't it appropriate that along with Paul came Mr. Potato Head, who appeared in stores at that time? Doesn't Paul just inspire you to want to pull his head off into different parts and stick them back on in places where they're not supposed to be? In 1952, country music legend Hank Williams died of pills and booze at the age of 29. That was a tragedy. But it reminded me of when I was 29. And when I was 29, I was on internship in Providence, Rhode Island. And I was trying to recover from the gigantic loss of no longer having Paul Delphin in my life every day. From 1973 to 1977, until we both graduated from Purdue, I saw Paul practically every day. These were deeply golden years for me, the loss of which I have never really recovered from. Paul and I worked hard to get our PhDs. We partied hardy, and with our friends Jim and Carl and Chris and Diane and Vic. There are thousands of good warm memories here for me. The only anxious moments were around if we'd ever find a good parking lot wherever we'd go. Paul was a frightened freak when it came to finding parking. I remember we would take a weekend trip to Chicago, which was 2 hours from where we were in Lafayette, and Paul would be worrying about whether we'd find parking. So, now it's 2012, and Paul and I are much closer to the grave than we used to be back there in our 20s. But we have both got a great set of sons for which we are deeply proud. And we have, right now, both wonderful women. You with Nancy and I with Sandy. We're here tonight with all these wonderful people. This celebration is what life is all about. Paul, I'm glad and proud to know you as long as I do. And I'm glad and proud to say that I can remember when Chet and Hilda, your parents, were alive. Now I know that Hilda would be deeply proud of you in terms of how you turned out, although she might be angry that you never did laminate her body after her death. But this is a minor point. While I love you deeply, I will never forgive you for being smarter than me. I don't say that about many people. I have suffered way too many Trivial Pursuit and Scrabble defeats at your hands.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's good. Us too, yeah.
You are a great psychologist, father, husband, friend, and human being. Not necessarily in that order. Paul, you and I were destined to be together. We were both born in Brooklyn. We both moved to Long Island at 2 years of age. We went to the same college and the same graduate school. I don't know who will be attending whose funeral in the future. I'm just hoping there will be enough parking spaces.
Yay! Oh my God.